Hello, hello. Just testing, testing. Okay, it seems to be working. Everything is working really fine. So yeah, welcome everyone to another live stream. Today's live stream is actually an art stream. Yay, it's my first art stream ever. Like the first time that I stream myself drawing something, you know. I hope that the volume is alright, okay? I decided to turn it down a little bit of my voice actually. I hope it's not too low. If anything, you can always just tell me in the comments or in the chat. Depends on if you're actually watching this stream right when it's happening or after it ended. Okay, yeah, so welcome. As you can see, I use Clip Studio Paint, right, to make my illustrations. And here we are. I want to try a new illustration. Okay, I'm going to make a new illustration. What am I going to illustrate today? I'm not completely sure. Okay, I'm going to just prepare the place here for me to draw. Okay, so this is how I like to draw. Okay, with pencil. Not pencil. Yeah, pencil, not pen. That's right. Oh yeah, and music, as you probably already know, you can go to the description to see if it's the composer, right? It's City Girl. She's really good. I really enjoy her music a lot. So if you want to listen more to it, if you want to listen to it more, just go in the description. The link is there. Okay, all of her links are there. Sorry if I'm kind of, how can I call it? But I'm not talking smoothly today. Is because I'm not used to making live streams anymore. I kind of took a long break, you know. So I'm trying to just get back on track, you know. You know what I mean? You probably do. Okay. So here we are on Clip Studio Paint. What am I going to draw? I always know what I'm going to draw. That's not true, but kinda. Today I'm going to draw a character. But who? That's the thing, okay? I want to draw a cute character. Because I want to try some shading techniques, okay? So let's start with the face. With the head, actually. Yeah, I really like how this head looks, okay. I'm not focusing too much on pose today, because I don't want to actually exercise poses today. I want to just exercise the final, like, pieces of the piece, actually, of the artwork. I want to try shading and stuff like that, rendering in general, because I'm not very good at rendering. Okay, let me just open a file here real quickly. This is the best that I ever rendered, okay? This here is one of my biggest, like, and prettiest artworks. It's from my OC, Juliet. Actually, she's just a character that I made in Terraria and really liked it in the end, but yeah. So there she is. She's a reindeer, right? That's why she has horns, even though she's female. Because she's a reindeer, not a normal deer. And yeah, she has a really big gun. This sounds strange, but yeah, she has a gun. And I really like this painting, okay, because I really feel like I nailed the shadows and colors and everything. I just think the bloom is a little bit too intense, like for example here it's too intense, or here it's too intense. The bloom kind of screw a little bit, but generally talking, I really like this character. I really like this artwork of her, and I love the glitter that I just sprinkled all over her. If you look closely, you can see many like broken details, like mistakes here or problems, stuff like that, but that really does not matter when you look at the bigger picture. One thing that I kind of don't like it on her is the nose shadows. I think it's too shadowy. It kind of takes too much of the attention of the artwork. But yeah, I'll try to replicate this today, okay? There's one last thing that I really need to do. Let me just check it here, okay? It's my guide on how to do it, because I wrote a guide on how to render this way, okay? Basically, when I was developing this method of rendering, I was just like trying to remember exactly what I did and then take note of it for future reference, right? That's what I just brought up right now. It's it's just a notepad with everything, like with all the steps to render this way, right? But these steps are kind of far away right now. I'll have a lot of stuff to do before I reach them. I don't know who I'll draw today. That's the thing, all my drawings start with the same head, right? You can see that my style is very cartoony in a way. I'm thinking about drawing a white-haired girl, but white hair is very different to render from normal hair. Sorry. I'm thinking about someone with pink hair. I really like pink hair, and pink hair is extremely difficult to render, in my opinion, because it's very hard to find the correct shades of color. Let me see, let me think about it, okay? I could make the protagonist from Smack, my game, but I don't know if I want to draw her. That's the problem. I could make a character from one of my other games, like Soulslinger or Forest of Strays, but I still don't want to do that. Forest of Strays has the witch, right? I could make art for her. I could make like a rendered piece of her. I don't think that I ever done that before. That's quite interesting, but I'm thinking more about... Yeah, you know what, let's do the witch, right? Let's do the little witch from Forest of Strays. Let me just cover the screen very quickly for me to catch some reference, because even though I created her, and even though like she's one of my main characters, it's not like I remember her. Oh yeah, I already made a rendered piece of her. That's right, I forgot about it. Let me just show you. Okay, let me show you this one. This one is really great as well. It's really good. Okay, so the one that I'm going to show you right now is a rendered piece of Little Witch from Forest of Strays. I already made it. This is actually the cover for the soundtrack on Steam. By the way, go in the description and check the links to my Steam page, developer Steam page, Netherlamp, and my itch.io, especially Steam, so you can get the soundtracks for free, right? So go there. Check it out. Okay, this is a render piece that I made of her, of the little witch from Forest of Strays, and I kind of like it a lot. It's very painty, like painty, that's not a word, but it's very like it was painted on a canvas, not like digitally, you know, something more traditionally. So yeah, I really like it. Really like this drawing. So that means that I already have a rendered piece of her. So making another one's going to be redundant. I'm not going to do that. Oh, we closed it. That's fine. I'm going to do a original character. You know what? Let's create a new character. I could try a new style of head as well. That's something that I could do. Maybe. But let's move quickly because I don't have all that much time today. I have lots of stuff that I want to do. So I'm going to stream like for 1 hour, 2 hours at max. So I don't have much time. So let's do this. So I think about her hair being something like this. Just for the sake of saying it, I'm not sure what exactly I'm doing, okay? I'm just drawing something that I feel it's right. But I believe that this hair is placed too upwards. I have to move it downwards a little bit. Oh yeah, and what about Smack? Am I still working on Smack? Like, what happened to that project? I'm still working on it. Of course I am. I'm making little progress, but I'm making progress. Now I'm working on the cafeteria details, right? The details for the cafeteria, the furniture and other stuff. Adding some interesting stuff to the cafeteria just so it's not very like empty, you know. And I believe that I can make this hair look a little bit better. You know what? You know what I could do? But what's going to be her hair like? Oh yeah, I want her hair to be a short hair, so it cannot be like this. It has to be more like flat here, you know, like this. And this is just the back part of the hair. Anyway, I'm going to delete it all down here anyway. And how about the top part of the hair? I want to give her something like twin tails, but not necessarily twin tails. I want to give her... You know what? She's not going to look good on twin tails anyway. And I forgot to add a detail here. I forgot to add something important. And that is her normal hair. Right? Her other side of the hair. Okay. Yeah, maybe something like this with her maybe a little bit downwards with her ears and stuff like that. Oh, if you hear my dog crying, like screaming, sorry about that. She's very upset because my father is actually cutting her nails right now, so if you hear that, and she really does not like it, so if you hear that, I'm really sorry. Yeah, I find it kind of good. It's looking good. Okay. I really like this very, like, fluffy hair in a way, you know? But she's looking really similar to Azura, my Aussie, one of my main Aussies actually. And I don't know if I quite want that. I want to give her a more original look. So maybe just adding something like a tiny piece of hair here, you know. Yeah, something like this, you know, nothing too crazy, but at the same time nothing too simple. It's just a and then I could add a detail here. I could add something here, but what can I add here? I could add like a little kitty cat, maybe. It looks kinda cute, but I'm thinking about something more generic. Something less. Maybe a star. No, stars are very hard to draw. Maybe a star. Star kinda looks good, but that's not exactly what I want. You know what? In the end, I think I'm not going to add anything there. I'm going to leave it this way. Leave that empty anyway, okay? I don't remember how I make noses nowadays. It's been a while since I don't draw anything, right? So I kind of forget my own way of doing stuff. I don't remember how I draw noses. If I'm not mistaken, it's something like this, but this one looks kind of strange. If I'm not mistaken, it's something like that. Yeah, I could leave something like this. I want her to be very... emotionless, you know what I mean? Not too emotionless. Okay, let me just pick a very recent sketch so I can see how I make noses, okay? And the sketch in question that I'm going to look at is the Magata the Gunslinger, right? Oh yeah, this is how I make noses, that's right. Very strange, don't you think? This looks kind of odd, in a way. I don't know, I really like her colors, by the way, but I'm not going to finish this drawing. I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to finish this drawing. I need to find a new way of making noses. a better way of making noses, actually. Because this nose is too big, too detailed. Yeah, maybe something like this. This is really fun. Okay, but let's focus on her eyes first. Let's create another layer and then let's work on her eyes. I can make it like the eyes come from there and then finish right here. Yeah, I think this eye is kind of looking cute. It's looking cute enough. And then let's work on the other eye. Let's just do this, and then this. Then let's work on the other eye. Okay. If I could give myself a strength, like in which area of painting or drawing or anything like that do you most excel at? Right, I think that I'm like really good at sketching. This first step is one of my favorite steps of art, and I think that I can do it really, really good. Right, let me just see if the eyes are too strange, and to be honest, they're not. They're looking really good. One compared to the other, their sizes are kind of matching, but I don't like the way that this one looks down here. I think it should go even down. Something like this. Let me just see if it's working. Yeah, it could work. Okay, I'm going to leave something like this here, and then let's make her expression, her facial expression, her mouth. Let's start by her mouth. Okay, so how can I make it? How do I imagine her expression looking like? Okay, I kind of imagine her expression to be something more neutral, kind of bored, you know what I mean? She's like, I don't want to be here right now, but I'm here anyways. Or I'm very tired, or something like that. But I don't know if I'll give that vibe to her. Oh yeah, and another thing that I always do is make the face to like not rounded enough. Okay, let's move the nose a little bit to the right, just to give a little bit of a impression of perspective. And then let's on her mouth. Her mouth is going to look something like a very big smile with big teeth. No, or a very sad face. No. I really like it, but I'm not going to use it. Okay. I can make her kinda angry. Which may look good. I can make her happy, but I think that I'll make her very neutral. You know, kind of almost sad. And then let's add her comically large eyes. Because this is just part of my style, you know? Those very, very big eyes. She's kind of scary, to be honest. But, oh, now I noticed that I'm making everything on the wrong layer. That's fine, the eyes are looking kind of fine. And it's not a real problem, to be honest. Okay, let me just remake this piece of her chin. I don't want it to be very pointy. I want it to be more round, you know what I mean? Oh yes, and then let's make her facial expression. You know what? I think that I'll change it. I'll change her nose as well. I can actually give her a subtle smile. This is not subtle at all, but yeah. I could even give some lipsticks to her. I want her eyes to almost feel like they're worried about something. And then let's just add some eyelids, because I find eyelids really pretty. Like these very, very big eyelids, you know? I cannot say that I'm completely happy with how she looks. Maybe she looks too tired, too sad. Let's redo that then. But now I can make it better. Now her eyes look too worried. To my liking. Okay. I feel this is good enough. Okay, now let's just make her eyebrows. I'll work on the mouth later. As you probably already saw, I'm not very good at drawing mouths. And not eyebrows, I'm not good at drawing eyebrows. Like, really. This is why most of the time I do this. I just flip them. And it looks quite good. Oh yeah, and now I can make her a very sweet smile. You know, and with this sweet smile, she's suddenly happy. She's suddenly relaxed. You know, she's no longer worried, she's relaxed. I'm going to be honest that I don't feel like I quite like the size of this eye. Oh, wrong layer. Yeah, maybe something like this. Let's just fix her eye a little bit. Something like this. I can make her something like this, and she looks tired. I just want to give her some cheeks, you know? Some cheeks like this. And then, move this one here. Let's remake this piece here. Kind of worsen the situation, but that's fine. Okay, and now let's finish her eyes. kinda like this kind of eyes. I would love to add another layer to them. Yeah, something quite this. Something quite like this. No, it's actually a lot bigger. I think that the problem is related to this piece here from the eye. Oh yeah, I need to make her look more to the camera, you know. Like this way here, maybe? Just maybe. But her eye sizes are kind of different. But that's fine, you know. I don't know why I bothered too much in this stage here, because pretty much everything from this stage will be scrapped later on. Not scrapped, but I'm going to paint all over it, and not just paint over it, but I think she's kind of scary. Let's remake her eyes entirely. Something like this, maybe. Yeah, this is quite good. Now let's just give her a neck. And then let's start working on her body. So, how I want it to be like. I spent half an hour just in this sketch. I really like scarves, you know. You probably already know that. But yeah, I find scarves really cute. Especially on girls. Scarves are one of the reasons that I like the winter. And like striped scarves are cute as well. But her scarf is not going to be stripped. Her scarf is going to be one of those that has those thingies. It's kind of strange for me to be drawing winter clothing, because here it's pretty much... I don't know the temperature here, but it's close to like 30 degrees Celsius, you know? So yeah, it's very hot here. Where I live, here in Brazil. It's like it's the very end of the spring and the very start of the summer. And this is why it's very hot. And you may think, so your Christmas is actually in summer? Yes, our Christmas happens in summer. Which is quite strange, because we see people dressed as Santa Claus, you know? And they're wearing those very big winter clothes in a summer day. I feel for these people, you know? Okay. So here we can see that she already has a scarf. But am I happy with it? Probably not. How can I make her body now? I want to give her a trench coat, just because I like trench coats. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to give her a trench coat. I believe that her hair up here is too big. It's too upwards. I'll move it downwards a little bit. And she's looking really similar to Azura, my OC. Yeah, she's really similar to her. But okay, that's fine, it's fine. There's no problem in this. Okay, so this is her. Just change the thing here. So this is her neck, right? And then this is her shoulders. So let me just increase this. I'll do it in 100, it doesn't matter. So then this means that here is going to be her chest, which I can give really pretty curves. But not too many curves, something more subtle. it's better for this character here. And then this is her chest, but I believe her chest is too downwards. I think that I'm going to move her chest a little bit upwards, like this. Yeah. And then just create her hips. But I believe that this chest is not looking really good. It's too subtle. I don't want it to be too subtle. Yeah, something like this. I think this one looks good. And then I just have to create a thing here for her body, for her belly and stuff, you know, here. And then move to her hips. I'm going to make her just standing still, right? I'm not going to put any pose on her, because I don't think poses will look good. Look good here, actually. I don't like how this side looks, and I think her body is too big. To be honest, let's start from scratch here. To be honest, I feel like I'm just going to make her bust. I don't remember how I make busts. I kind of forgot about it. I kind of forgot how I do them. Oh yeah, it's been a while since I don't draw, but you know what? I feel like I'm going to leave it like this. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like this. This is going to be the drawing that I'm going to work on. I'm not going to make a full illustration out of this, because to be honest, this just serves as a practice for rendering, and I haven't even started on rendering yet. So let's do this, okay? So 10 is too big, 6 is too small, but I kind of like 6. Maybe 8. I think that 8 is good. Let me just increase her size a lot. Since I'm going to be working just with this head, and then let's make it really big. Then 10 doesn't look very bad on her. Okay, let's select a very saturated and dark color. Like, no, I think they're more reddish, like this. Oh yeah, for her features, for her line art. And here you see how perfectionist I am with line art. One thing that I really need to train more is rendering with just a sketch, not worrying about line art. But unfortunately, for my style, I don't see how I can do that. That will look good. I feel like my style is behind a line art wall, you know? Yeah, of course, I can always practice stuff, I can always try new stuff, but generally speaking, I like line art, I just don't like making line art. It's one of the processes that I like the least on art, you know, it's making line art. This is something that I have to get used to. Here's very bad. and connecting two lines is really difficult without messing everything up. Yeah, but I feel like this is good enough. I'm not going to be too perfectionist with this one. Oh yeah, and I can always narrow the size of the the lines. Clip Studio is a really good software. I really like using Clip Studio. Because it's so complete, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I kinda miss the Medibank days, because I used Medibank when I started working on digital art for the first time. It was my first software. I just used Medibank, Krita, and Clip Studio. But Krita, I haven't used it really because it lagged on my previous computer. So yeah, it was very bad. But Clip Studio, I never had any problems like that. And I used Clip Studio back in my other computer as well. On my old computer. Making the chin is definitely the hardest step in the entire line art. Because the chin has to look good. Because it's literally the face of the character. And I'm starting to get nervous about it. This is good enough. Is it perfect? I don't think. But is it good enough? It's definitely good enough. My biggest problem with the chin is that... No, sorry, I have to sneeze. Okay, my biggest problem with the chin is that the smallest deviation from the original can make a lot of difference. For an example, here you can see that the chin is kinda a little bit upwards than the sketch version, so this kinda makes her thinner, you know, kinda makes her look like she's thinner than she actually is. You know what I mean? And the majority of times, this style, this art style, my art style, is pretty much like cute girls, you know? And I want them to be cheeky, I want them to be like... kind of like... more fat, in a way. I want them to be kind of fatter, just to give that vibe. I don't know how to explain that. But yeah, this is part of my style, actually. Making really, really round cheeks. And when I say cheeks, I mean, like, cheeks, right? As you can see here, like, this piece here, it's a very big cheek. Yeah. I can even remake this part here, to be honest. I feel like... yeah, something like this. I have a lot to study, you know what I mean? And now let me just remove the hair from here. You can just remove this hair here. Okay, now I can just make her facial expressions, which is especially tricky. With bigger brushes, you know what I mean? And I really feel like not finishing the bottom part of the eyes. But if I do, what if I do? Let me just look at Juliet again, very quickly. You can see I haven't finished the bottom part of her eyes. And my voice is gone. Okay. But here I did. I'm going to do it. Oh yeah, something like this. Huh. Yeah, it's not looking bad. Yeah, sorry. And then I'll finish the details manually. Like here. Even making this a little bit bigger. And then having to do the exact same thing on the other side for it to not look strange. Okay. And the eyes, I'm not going to mess with them right now. Let me see here. Yeah, I kinda add line art to the eyes, but I don't feel like that's the right thing to do. Yeah, one big problem with my way of doing stuff is because I'm too, like, trapped in my own way of doing it. And I kinda forget to make something that looks good instead of just following the rules. The rules that I myself created, you know what I mean? Like, because I really want to be consistent, but I want to be consistent with every single step of the process. And this kind of makes everything look bland. So if you're starting at art right now, I can just tell you one thing. Don't make rules. And don't follow rules. Draw the way that you want, draw the way that you think is good. And if somebody ever tells you that no, you have to learn this and that, learn that, but in your way, you know, don't never forget to be free, you know, that's exactly what I wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to follow those rules all the way through, because learning that is very quickly, but to unlearn that, it's taking me a lot of time and effort. And to be honest, I don't feel like I can do it. You know what? The center part of the eye, I'm not going to do. Okay, I'm going to leave it like this. This is the line art. I'm going now to move to rendering. How do I render my pieces? That's something very, very hard to tell, to say, to even know how I do it. Okay, so her hair. How is the color of her hair? I want her hair to be kind of pinkish. Like this tone of pink, too bright. This tone of pink. Or I could even make her like purple hair. But then again, Juliet already has a purple hair, so I'm not going to make a purple hair again. If I give her a white hair, she may look really cute on a white hair. But no, I'm thinking more about a pink hair. Something like this. Maybe it's too dark. Something like this. Maybe more red. Something like this. This is the shade of pink that I was looking for. Okay, so I have plenty of ideas on how to paint something. I usually don't use this brush for this. I usually do use this brush for other stuff, but I feel like it gives some sort of... I don't know if I quite like it, because it's kind of transparent, you know. So I'm going to use a normal brush for this step here. And I'm very, very bad at brushes, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have lots of brushes, and that's a issue on my part, you know. That's very, very hard for me, at least, to find good brushes that I really like. And I'm making everything on the wrong layer. Yesterday I was trying to draw and the same thing kept happening. I was doing everything on the wrong layer. You know what? Instead of doing this, I can try something different. I can try to invert selected area. And then... wait a second. This one here, invert selected area. And then re-invert. But then it's going to be the same. Yeah, it's going to be the same. I don't know how other artists do this. Like, how they paint quickly, you know what I mean? One good technique is to actually use the... oh, and I lost that shade of... pink that I liked a lot. It was something like this, maybe even redder. Now I like it even more. But it's too saturated. Yeah, maybe something like this. Because I have already prepared my paintbrush. My bucket for this, you know what I mean? And make something like this. And then for her face, something like this maybe, or even more close to white, something like this. Yeah, I believe something like this. It's quite good. And then let's just move down here. Let's make it more red. And here. Okay. Maybe it's too dark. Okay. And her eyes are going to be white. And the main parts of her eyes are going to be blue. Because I really, really like blue eyes on pink-haired girls. I think it looks amazing. Should actually try something more vivid. Something like this. And then now I can just move it like this. Oh yeah. Okay. And now I can add more saturation to this one here. Maybe something like this. Yeah, for it to be more saturated. And her scarf is going to be deep orange. Just because I want it to be orange. I know that the scarf of Juliet is also orange, but I really, really like orange scarves. Yeah. Okay. Or I can even make it like a red scarf. Or a purple scarf. Yeah, I believe a bluish to purple scarf may look kind of good on her. Something like this. And then let's just move this here. Something like this, okay? And her hairpin is going to be deep orange. Yeah, something like this. Okay, the colors are looking good, actually. The colors are looking really good. One thing that I really want to do is to change the size, but this is actually too late, isn't it? Narrow by 1 pixel all the line art. Yeah, to be honest, yeah, it haven't caused any problems. I thought that it would actually break everything, but no, it didn't. I thought that the line art would. Let me just fix this. Tiny little holes. Okay. And now... Okay, so this is the shader layer. Shading layer. Okay, let's start by the hair. Okay, let's just start by the hair. Not by any hair. By this piece here. By this piece here. Let's start by this piece here of the hair. Okay, so how can I do this? Okay, just have to select a darker color. And then, let me see, how do I do this? Okay, so, with the spray tool, I make the shadows, but I don't feel like the spray tool is a good tool for this. I think it's a lot better for me to make it with this brush here and then apply some blending and then like blend it. And let me just see, this one here is dependent on the size, isn't it? Yeah, this one here is dependent on the size. I don't want it to be dependent on the size. Okay. So let's just see here. So here I have this here as shadows, and then let me just blend a little bit. Just the tips of it, okay? Something like this. And then with soft bleed. Then with soft bleed, I create a ambient occlusion. Oh yeah. Which I could also use this one here. Or that, couldn't I? No, I think I cannot. No, yeah, I definitely cannot use these ones for this. I'll have to use the bleed. Soft bleed, okay. Just for the ambient occlusion. Let me select another color here. And in this step, I'll have to exaggerate like a lot. Right, like exaggerate on the ambient occlusion. And add a little bit of depth to the drawing, you know. Because this whole thing is going to disappear later on, you know. I'm going to make a step to just make this one here, what I'm doing right now with the soft bleed, even less apparent. So it's very important for it to be almost black, you know, almost pitch black, where the light don't reach. Okay, and then just make another tiny little shadow here. And I can just play this way, you know, like this. Okay, and then I take another layer and I can use this one here, I really like this brush, by the way, and just make a, but that's the problem, I cannot use that one. I have to use the normal watercolor, that is, okay, to make a kind of cell shading, no, in a way. Like this. And then I can even just like blend the tip a little bit so it's more smooth. And then I just have to add another layer with luminous points with the normal pen, right? I just add like points with more light. To be honest, this is actually a better color for highlights. Let me just take this one and move just a little bit upwards, you know. And then let's, oh, another razor, the blending mode. Oh yeah. And then highlights, which is this color here. Just use, let me just place a value here, and let me just work on highlights. Yeah, something like this. And then I can just catch it purple and then do this. But this one I can do with the other one, with this one here. If you look from far away, it looks kind of good, you know? It's very similar to this style here, because it's the same process, actually. This is why it's similar. Okay, and now, if I'm not mistaken, I can even... No, but I'm not going to do that right now, okay. This is just normal shadows, right. So let's do it with this back part here. Oh yeah, the back hair is a very important place to do this. Yeah, I used this one, right. I did. Okay. So now I can just make shadows like this and here. And then I can just apply the blending a little bit. And then let's make the ambient occlusion with soft bleed. Right, soft bleed for the ambient occlusion. And here on the hair, there's a lot of places that are ambient occluded, you know what I mean? Like up here, where I'm focusing too much, you know? Or like all the way down here. Yeah, so it's actually been a while since I don't do this. Don't do art this way, okay, so I'm very rusty. So at the moment I'm just kind of having fun, you know? I don't expect it to look especially beautiful, you know what I mean? And with the ambient occlusion, I can even place some other shadows into some other places, you know? Like here. And then, all that I have to do is take the normal watercolor and, oh yeah, I forgot something very important. I forgot the ambient occlusion up here. Oh yeah, this is a very occluded place. Yeah, something like this. Nothing too crazy. And then, with the normal watercolor, the round watercolor, I just... wrong layer. I just create some sort of cell shading. And then I just blend the edges a little bit. And now I make the lights. Let's make some highlighting points, some places that has more light than others, like this one here. I still have a lot to learn, you know, related to rendering and stuff like that. But I kind of like my style of doing it, you know, I kind of like this style. It's kind of good. And then let me just create some highlights right here. And then I just have to take a really bluish one. It's not like the best looking, but it's looking kind of good. And now let's make the same thing here. And this is the process. Okay. So I made the normal shadows with something like this, right? Wait. And then I blended it. And now I have to get the soft bleed. Sorry, I just had to blow my nose. And then with the soft bleed, I'm actually doing it in the wrong layer. And I noticed that I'm making the light coming from the wrong side. I don't know if this will look good, actually. I'm not very confident in this place here. Let's do it anyway. Let's take one of the normal round watercolor and then create a sort of cell shading. Yeah, this is looking very bad. Yeah, so this time this one is not looking good. Because I basically forgot that it's hair, not a blob of something. This is why I think that this style of shading does not work with this style of art. Like, if you look here, it's very pretty, it's kind of beautiful. But it's too cartoony, you know? I think. So maybe something closer to a cell shading would work a lot better here. Let's try that out. Let's start with the same places, okay? Yeah, with very, very dark shadows. Something really similar to a cell shading. But then I can always apply a little bit of blending. To be honest, I can kind of create a... Hear me out, hear me out. I can kind of mix the two styles. No, this is not looking good. I just have to do this. Just so you know, I don't have any idea of what I'm doing. right now, okay, I'm just doing it in the hopes that it looks good. Yeah, something like this maybe. But then again, it's just a simplified version of that one. I believe that what I'll have to do is something like cell shading. If I were to make a very simple cell shading, like cell shading that I pretty much always do. Like it would be something like this then. Yeah, a cell shading like this, you know? No, 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 no. Yeah. Yeah, like, does this look good? I think that for this style, this shading looks a lot better. I can try to actually take some inspiration from how I shade on pixel art, you know, for my game sprites. Oh yeah, I forgot to... I forgot to add the other colors. Maybe adding a random border to the shadows kind of helps to keep it more interesting. I don't know, to be honest, I really feel like this kind of shading works a lot better on this art style. But that's the thing, I kind of miss some blur, you know, some stuff like that. Yeah, so in the end, I don't know. I'll have to practice a lot more this kind of stuff and kind of try to create some stuff. Okay, so let me show you one thing real quickly. Let me just catch it. Let me just pick it here. On my drawing, I want to show you this one. I want to show you this one as well. Where is it? Where is it? Where is this one? I cannot find it, sorry. Oh, it's here. Right. So, here it is, okay? So let me show you something, okay? So, this is kind of a cell shading that I like to do. It's a little bit different than I usually do, but it's pretty much the same thing. Then we have the very complex shading system, like rendering, you know, and all of that stuff, my way of doing it. Then we have no shading, that doesn't matter. And then we have this one here, okay? So this drawing here was made using something very similar to this one here, right? And I kind of like it. Like, I really like this drawing. It was made for I made it for a contest, art contest, of Super Animal Royale, right? A game that me and my brother really like to play together. Unfortunately, I did not win, but yeah, it was very fun to make this one. And I really like the way that the shading looks. There's some quirkiness in this drawing, but yeah. And I really like it. And it's very consistent, like throughout its entirety. But this one here, this one is completely different, okay? This one I made out of a burst of inspiration. I just decided, you know what, I want to paint something, and then I just went and painted this. This bird looks kind of strange, but at the same time I really like it. Like, look at the amount of colors that I used here. Are you seeing this? Like, this is something that I pretty much never do. And here's my signature, right? Oh yeah, by the way, this signature is actually a tattoo that I have on my arm that covers my hand and my arm. Okay, so this actually is on top of my hand and this is on top of my arm, right? This is the origin of this signature, is because it's my tattoo. Oh yeah. And this drawing, I was very inspired. And you can see that I used lots of colors and lots of different, not techniques, because this one was, I made it without thinking. I made this one entirely without thinking, without worrying about anything. I just did it. There's no other way than saying it. I just started working and painted this. So yeah, drawing is hard. Painting is even harder. You know, so I really want to learn how to render properly, but this is something really complex and I want to try lots of different styles. I have to be more, like, observant. That's not a good word. I need to be more, like, I need to pay more attention to the artists that I like, to see, to kind of try to identify how they made it, you know. Because, yeah, even though I really like this vibe here, or these vibes here, or this here, they do not, like, this style do not fit very well with my art style, with my general art style. This may look good on a more, not realistic, but stylized thing. Like, for example, here you can see that her chin is not very round, it's kind of pointy. Not pointy, but it's very round, but not as round as this one here, for an example, because these styles are a little bit different. I have lots of variations for my art style, and each one of them has their own specific thing. Okay, this one is a lot similar to this one here, right? This style here, it's a lot similar. And it works for this drawing here, but I don't think that it was the best option. Maybe if I had stick to a normal cell shading, this drawing could look a lot better. But I kind of like how the colors blend together. That's something that I really want to use, you know, a good color blending technique. Because there's lots of artists that just do a very simple cell shading, even simpler than this one here, but can make their art look so good. And that's all about color choices and the way that the shadows are placed. You know, you can see here that there's no logic to it, you know. Like, the light's coming from this side here, but then it's coming from this side here. There's no logic in my logic here, you know. Here, there's no light. Like, here, there's no rule, you know. I cannot say how I made this one, because I don't know. It was made out of no rules, you know. If you don't have rules to, like, that's a very, I'm on a very sweet spot on rules. Kind of bother me. I don't want to have rules. I want to learn how to do something like this but as good as this on this style here, you know. But it's very hard, and actually line art is something that takes so much time. Let me just see. I even sketched something here? No, I did not even sketch anything here. That's crazy, isn't it? This one was not even sketched, I just started doing stuff. And I really like how the feathers here look. Oh yeah, but I don't know how to render, I don't know anything, right? This is actually a good drawing for me to try stuff out and try to figure out which way is the best one. So yeah, I still don't know. I really want to escape line art, but I don't know how I can do that. Like, I know how to make lineless art, don't get me wrong, it's something that I really like to do, and back in 2020 I did a lot of lineless art. And it's not a mystery to me, you know, how to make lineless art. The problem is how to make lineless art look good. Because at this point, making a art that's... Like, that's the thing, lineless art is very hard. Because it's less concrete. But at the same time, it kind of looks better. Oh yeah, I have one last thing that I want to show you. That's very important, okay, that's very interesting. Dude. Is this one here. Okay, let me show you. This one here, okay? This one is lineless. You can see that there is no line art in this here. This one here. This is actually Azura. Remember when I said that she was looking really close to Azura without her... when her hair was gray, white, without any colors, she was looking really close to Azura's, very similar to her. This is Azura, okay, one of my main OCs, I really like her, I really enjoy drawing her as well, and she was one of my test subjects. She was the first test subject for this kind of rendering here, you know. So yeah. I really like how this looks. This looks really, really, really good from far away, but that's the main issue. It's very specific. It's not something that I can apply to everywhere. You know what I mean? So I need something more global, not just very specific. You know, I really like how the highlights work here, because they're very simple, they're very subtle in a way, you know? Especially here on the chest, you can see that those tiny highlights are on her nose and everything. Yeah, I really like this one. And I can just start removing stuff. Let me just remove everything. Yeah, so this was the sketch. It's kind of hard to see, but this was the sketch. Let's just remove everything here. Okay, so these are the flat colors, right? These are the flats. And then we have the basic shadows, right? And then we have the ambient occlusion that kind of gives shape to it all. Okay, the ambient occlusion here on this style of rendering at least is used to give shape to anything, right? To separate one shape from another. And then you have ambient shadows. What does ambient shadows mean? Ambient shadows are the things that actually obscure or occlude the ambient occlusion even more, okay? Because you can see that the ambient occlusion here is very violent, it's very vivid, you know? Like there's lots of blacks and really dark shades. And here, it changes everything, you know? It gives a completely different vibe to the drawing, you know, to the painting. And then you have the light, which kind of occludes even more the ambient occlusion. And then you have the highlights, which just give some details. Then you have the bounce lights. And then you have the final highlights and the ambient light. What does the ambient light do? You can see that it changes the shades of the drawing, right? It's actually a mass of colors in a overlay layer. I have reference lines, but I did not use those in the end. And then you have the full render. And later on I added the bloom and some details, which are the sprinkles. This looks really good here, okay? I really like this style, but it's something that's very hard to just apply to anything. And to be honest, I'm more like, I want to create something that's in the middle term of cell shading and that very complex rendering technique, you know? I want to create something that's in the middle. But I believe that the best way to create something like that is not think logically, is to just sit and create something and keep trying stuff without thinking about rules. At least for me, rules kinda just, I don't know, they kinda destroy the fun of drawing for me. You know, when I was learning manga, I just couldn't stop thinking about rules, and I always started my drawings like with a circle. Oh, not the problem with that. There's not really a problem with starting your drawing with a simple shape base, and I kinda like it, and I kinda like to do it when I want to do some more complex poses, you know? I have some sketches that I was trying poses, okay, let me show you one of them very quickly. But I was thinking too much about rules, you know, really, like it was really taking the fun out of it, you know. Okay, so for an example, again with Azura, right? This is a pose drawing that I made of Azura, right? I was trying a pose, and you can see that here you have the base sketch and then the main sketch, right? And this base sketch, I started with a even simpler base sketch. I started with a base sketch, then I made the base sketch from the base sketch, and then I made the real sketch, right? Very sketchy. Oh yeah. So yeah, starting with like rough shapes, it's a lot better when you have to make something more complex, like a real pose. For an example, this one here, this pose here is looking really good. I really like this pose. I really like how it works here. It was just an exercise that I decided to do, because poses are really hard to draw, right? But I have lots of experience on drawing anything, so even though this style here is very simple and kind of too cartoony, to be honest, I can do something more complex. I can do advanced stuff without struggling too much, you know what I mean? Like, because I've been drawing for, I don't know, like, I remember that I draw since I was 6 years old, but really drawing, like really trying to improve and everything, I think like when I have like 10, 11, 12 maybe, something like that. So it's pretty much 10 years, right? A little bit more than 10 years. No, a lot more than 10 years. Whoa, I've been drawing for a lot more than 10 years, like really trying to improve and everything. So yeah, this is why I can do stuff like this with kind of ease, you know. Not ease because it was not easy, but you know, easier, you know, because I have a lot of practice on drawing. And when I say drawing, I don't mean like improving my techniques, because you can see that I'm not an expert at art, especially digital art. I'm not really good at it. But at drawing, like, I can draw pretty much anything. You know, remember when I said that the sketch is the part that I'm better at, that I'm best at? That's why, okay, because I sketch a lot, and painting I was never a big fan. I was never a huge fan of actually painting, even without digital art. Just like on paper, I pretty much never painted anything. When I did, it was really, really, really bad. So I'm more the guy that draws stuff instead of painting stuff, but now I want to learn how to render, how to properly paint, and I've been in this journey for a while now. And I know why I don't improve. It's because I don't practice that much, you know, like this drawing was the last render drawing that I made, and it was made like in May, April? I don't know. It's been months since I last did something like this. No, I believe that this one was made after this one. Yeah, this one was made after that one. But that's the thing, like, it's like I'm not practicing nearly enough to really improve at this, you know. But you can see that I can draw poses, I can draw everything. But when I was talking about rules, like when I started learning manga, I learned rules, right? Rules for manga. But then those rules started just taking the fun out of it, and then I started struggling with drawing pretty much anything because I had to follow the rules. Nowadays, I don't follow those rules anymore because I learned how to not follow specific rules like that. But it was really hurting, like it hurts a lot to unlearn something. You know, learning something, you can do that and it's quite good, and I remember that I had a lot of fun learning those rules, but later on, it was a real struggle to me, because I had to unlearn those rules. And it's not like I unlearned those rules, it's because I learned to not use them everywhere, every time. So you can see that this sketch here, I started this sketch here, right? This here. With the shape of the head, I already started the chin and moved up, and the amount of practice that I needed to do to reach this point of actually drawing without a shape beforehand was kind of hard. I remember that I struggled so much with chins and heads and everything until I didn't. Like one day I simply did not struggle anymore. And it's not like I don't struggle today. I struggle with it a lot still. But now I'm a lot more confident about it. And the fact that I don't follow rules anymore, it kind of makes it fun again, you know? So my big advice is, if you want to find your art style, like, just draw something without rules. Just draw what you like, draw what you think is good. So yeah, and don't worry too much about technical things. Like, there's a difference, okay? If you want to work on the industry as an artist, then you have to really care about all of that. If it's just a hobby, don't turn it into a chore. Do it the way that you feel like doing it, you know? Don't force yourself on places that you don't want to be just because you see a lot of people doing that. If you really want to do that for fun, then go ahead, do that. Learn how to do that. But one big problem that I have about watching tutorials on the internet is that it's art. Art is very personal. Even though I may use the same strategies and techniques that the person there will be using. It's not like I'll be creating the exact same art as them, but at the same time, I'll have a piece of their work in mind. You know what I mean? Like, it's not completely original on my part, on my end. There's problem in that? Absolutely not. And I feel like I'm missing a lot by not like really getting tutorials on the internet and watching stuff and how to render and all of that. But I'm already here with all that I learned by myself, you know, and I don't want to kind of throw that away. But I'm struggling a lot. So if you're starting right now, or if you are not like prideful and selfish as I am, please don't be prideful or selfish. Have pride on your work, but not this kind of pride, okay? The pride that stops you from improving. I unfortunately have a lot of it. I'm very prideful in this sense of the word, in this meaning, but I know that it's very bad and I'm constantly trying to not be like that. So if you're not prideful like I am, or selfish like I am, just learn from other people. That's a really, really important thing to do. Learn from them. And everyone's art is personal and everyone's art is their own journey, right? So even though you may take advice from other people, it doesn't matter in the end. All that matters is that you're creating your own art, right? So yeah, I have to do that. This is why I'm kind of trying to pay more attention on the shading techniques that I can notice by just seeing a finished piece, you know, a finished drawing from the people that I like, you know, from the artists that I like, that I follow. So yeah, you have to keep trying until you make it, you know, until you finally reach the correct spot. And again, I don't consider myself a good illustrator. I consider myself really good at drawing, but on painting and illustrating and like generally rendering and shading and all of that stuff, I'm really bad. I'm really, really, really bad. So this is why I have to kind of level up a little bit. Because even though it's not on my plans right now, one day I may want to make commissions, you know, take commissions, you know, and I want people to like my drawings. So it's good for me to develop something more original and at the same time something that looks good. This drawing took me a week to make, this one here, okay, the Super Animal Royale one. Or even over a week. I don't remember if it was 1 week or 2 weeks. But yeah, it took me a lot of time to make. Working every day, keep in mind that, okay? This one took me 1 day. And this one took me half a week. I think it was like 3 days, something like that. But then again, this one I did not work every day. This one I did because it was for a contest, right? So I just really pushed real hard to make this drawing and tried to make it as best as possible. And even though I really like it, and it's actually my smartphone background, it's not like I can see lots of mistakes and I can see why it did not win the contests, right? Oh yeah, but I have to learn a lot of stuff, you know? And these art streams may serve for that as well. You know? To kinda... This is very strange. For me to kinda learn how to do stuff, you know? Oh yeah, let me take this one here. Oh yeah, you can see a lot of stuff from the painting, right? Uh, oh yeah, so not this one. Main ground. Yeah, characters. And then there are the characters. Ooh, lots of layers. I have lots and lots and lots of layers. I really don't want to look at this one here. But this one here, let me show you, since I already broke it down. I want to remove the colors. Okay, let me remove the full render, and let's remove the colors. Oh yeah, but that's the thing, okay? All the layers are actually masks layers of the colors. So I cannot show you how it looks without the main colors, just with the shading. Kinda sad, I wanted to do that. And if I'm not mistaken, the Juliet is like this too. Yeah, Juliet is like this too. As you can see, her teeth... Sorry, had to yawn. Her teeth is actually on a different layer because I forgot to add them. Or most likely I made it on the wrong layer. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, rendering is very hard and I really want to try it. Okay, so I feel like I'm going to end the stream here, right? It's already 2 hours that I've been here talking and drawing and doing stuff. So that's good enough for me. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here with me. I don't know when I'll stream again. I said previous streams that I wanted to stream twice a week, but I don't think that's going to be a realistically possible for me. Cause to be honest, I have lots of stuff to do, like lots of stuff to do. And I'm working on lots of projects as well. It's very hard for me to just stream. But yeah, maybe once a week, or if I can, twice a week, or I may jump weeks. I don't have a specific schedule, so I don't know when I'll stream again. But if you like the stream, consider subscribing for when I make it again. When I live stream again, you don't miss it. I plan to live stream working, like not working, but playing games as well. That's something that I really, really, really want to do. But that's for the future, right? So yeah, thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you soon. At least I hope to see you soon. Até mais!